Let's see. Mm. All right. Yeah, so 2K done dropped a new video about my play and my career. I'm gonna go ahead and check this whole out. See what's new. I heard they taking away badges, all types of shit. So I'm guessing they trying to make it more realistic. We're gonna see about that.
Welcome back to our next NBA 2K25 courtside report. Today I'm joined by Zach Timmerman, principal producer on NBA 2K25, as well as Mark Little, my career developer. Zach, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Now there is so much to talk about for NBA 2K25. This is where fans can live out their hoop dreams and build their...
So that's who's responsible for all them weak ass in my career fucking stories. I hate playing my career because that shit be so weak.
legacy like never before. Before we get into my career, let's talk about the My Player Builder.
When you're building your My Player, you're not just building a legacy this year, you're also building a dynasty for your team. And we understand this is a very integral moment, a very important decision. And so we put a lot of time into ensuring that the various paths that we have in the builder are going to allow all walks of our gamers to be able to make the player that they want to make. To create your own, it's the builder where you just have so many options, changing your position, changing your size. You can articulate through every single one of your attributes and get to right where you want to go with your builder, all while you can see the various perks that your player is eventually going to be equipped with. Ultimately, it's the builder where somebody who wants to mess around with the thousands of possibilities can eventually make the build that they want to. We also have our pro build making veterans that have been playing the game for a long time. They're probably going to want to jump in there as well. There's also another group that wants to jump in there to try to make a unique build that nobody else in the world has made.
This sounds really intriguing. One thing I loved about last year was community members submitting their builds and you guys implementing them into the game. Are those returning this year?
The community builds feature that we had last year, it was really exciting. It was really nice to grab the best build makers that we have out there, be able to have them put their build in the game. Ultimately, people, when they would grab these builds, they felt like they could instantly compete and play with the best gamers out there. They'll be available season 2. We'll be dropping new ones each season with the intention of giving you access to the latest and greatest play styles that are out there.
A lot of new features coming with this new builder system, Zach. What else can you share about creating your My Player in 2K25?
In each of these builder paths, there's access to more information than we've ever given you before. You'll see which badges you qualify for, you'll see which takeovers you qualify for in our new takeover system, and you'll also be able to see which animations your player will qualify for. Ultimately, it's going to give you a really good feel for whether or not the player is going to move and react the way that you want to through the animation system.
I love all that, but I especially love the new takeover system.
Takeovers back in a new way
like
this
it had
year.
a
We
lot
have
of
70
space.
takeovers and 14 special abilities. In the builder,
Yeah, so apparently they're making this court bigger. I don't know if that was a bigger court, but it did look like they have a lot more space between the players. I like that. To me, 2K always feel small. Like, so I'm hoping they do feel more spaced out. 2K was more like regular street ball type shit. Now they trying to make it more like NBA. You know, the regular size court, then you got the NBA court.
you can see which takeovers you qualify for. Once you get into My Career, you can swap your takeovers in and out. They all have attribute requirements that determine whether or not you're able to equip these takeovers. Once you get into the game, you're going to see your takeover meter. There's 5 levels to your takeover, and it's kind of like 5 levels of hotness. Once you hit level 5, the special ability turns on, and that allows you to kind of dominate the game for a short period of time.
Okay, 70 takeovers. What are some of your favorites?
I think the one that I've been gravitating towards the most is barbecue chicken. If you're a hoop head, you know what that name means. It means you're about to put somebody in the post and turn them into a rag doll. It boosts throughout the levels of takeover. It boosts your post control, your shot close, and your strength. And then when the special...
The fuck he just say? Barbecue chicken does not mean that. Barbecue chicken means you're gonna cook your defender. Anyway, posts, 3-pointers, whatever, crossover, barbecue chicken just means you're gonna cook your opponent. That does not mean you're gonna dominate them in the post. The fuck is he talking about? That just pissed me off. I don't know what barbecue chicken mean to y'all, but that's what barbecue chicken mean to us. Like, we're gonna cook our defender from whatever we do, from crossing, threes, dunking, layups, you know what I'm saying? You're just gonna cook them, score. Like, that's what the fuck that mean to me, right? The fuck? From the post?
Special ability turns on, it turns on deep post bag, which essentially allows you to completely dominate the post, again, for a short period of time, in shots, back downs, every post move you can think of. So it's a lot of fun for somebody who likes to play in the post.
What can you tell us about badges in 2K25?
This year we have 40 badges. They're a lot more all-encompassing than they have been in the past. Each one of them has a larger impact. And so we're really happy with the badge allotment that we have right now. We feel like we've hit every part of basketball that's important. And ultimately, we're accentuating everybody's play style for these badges.
One other thing I want to talk about is badge progression.
Badge progression is basically how often are you using your badge. The more often you use the badge, the faster it's going to progress. Ultimately, though, if you don't use your badge this year, you won't regress, which I'm sure our fans are pretty happy about.
So it sounds like badges are completely reworked this year in 2K25.
Yeah, so this year we introduced a new level of badge called Legend. It's a level above Hall of Fame. It's pretty difficult to get. You have to raise your attributes pretty high, but ultimately, you know, it really allows you to dominate in that area of the game.
Zach, I'm excited. Can't wait to get my hands on the builder. Thanks for all the new details. And for all of you, stay connected to the NBA 2K25 Courtside Report, where you can learn all about the new MyPlayer Builder. Now we know about all the new exciting features in the MyPlayer Builder, but it's time to learn about my career. I'm joined by Mark Little. Let's jump right in. What's new in my career for NBA 2K25?
My career in NBA 2K25 is all about building the greatest dynasty in NBA history. You're my player this year, growing up outside of Chicago, and like his idol, Michael Jordan, he wants to build a dynasty that lasts throughout the ages. You can learn about your my player's history and his path to the NBA through an optional flashback story called The Heart of the Dynasty, which you get to relive 4 of his most iconic games in his pre-NBA career, including a high school state championship, a FIBA U19 World Cup, and even an open run with some NBA players where one of the players is not so happy and he got invited. And all these games are available for you to play right away.
Dang.
You can play them at any point in your career, but if you really want to just jump
Austin
right into your
Reeves
NBA
hating.
career and start building your dynasty, you can do that too.
Reeves
Let's
hating.
talk about creating your own dynasty in my career.
Last year, we introduced the GOAT ranking system. And in that, you're able to see your my player rise up through the rankings and ultimately become the GOAT. This year, we're adding a dynasty rankings, which is more about your team's performance and less about your personal achievements. So we've ranked the 9 greatest dynasties in NBA history. And as your team does stuff like deep playoff runs, winning championships, you'll see them rise the dynasty rankings until ultimately they get to the #1 spot and displace Michael Jordan's Bulls.
Last year, you came in with GOAT level hype. So what kind of prospect is MP in 2K25?
This year, MP is not a GOAT level hype. You're going to have to earn your position in the starting lineup. And if the player in front of you is really good, it's going to be even harder. This will definitely be one of your first obstacles as you try to build your dynasty.
So it sounds like I got to earn my place in the starting lineup. What does the flow look like in my career? Is it key games, every game?
Key games are back this year, and we're really excited about the improvements we've made. This year, you have a lot of control about which key games you play. We've divided the season into 2 halves, and in each half, you'll meet with your coach and GM and select a personal goal. The personal goal you pick is what determines the key games you play. We've even tiered the matchup system, so if your MP is still at a lower level, you'll match up against lower level NBA players, but if you're a 99, you're going to be matched up against the best of the best. If that's not your thing, you could decide you want to try and win the NBA Cup. up, or maybe you want to focus on winning road games, or maybe in your rookie season you want to show that you're the top rookie in your class. We've even got some key games that are focused entirely about you posterizing other guys. So the personal goals and key games you get to pick from is completely dependent on the build you made, your team you picked, and your current overall. So there's a lot of content depending on the scenario and play style you've picked. And on top of that, if you successfully complete your personal goal in key games, you get an all-new Dynasty badge. So the Dynasty badges you earn help improve your team and shape the Dynasty you're about to make.
This sounds exciting. What about other new features in My Career that you can talk about?
There's a lot more than I'm going to be able to go into here today, but I'll give you a few more of my favorites. So earlier I mentioned you can play a FIBA game in the optional flashback story. Well, you can also play FIBA games in our new revised off-season flow. You'll be able to play FIBA friendlies, FIBA qualifiers, and even a FIBA tournament that you can invite other NBA stars to join you. And speaking of NBA stars, this year we're also adding jersey swaps. So there are optional highlight games on your calendar where you can earn jerseys from players like Jalen Brunson or Victor Wembanyama only if you pass the in-game challenges against their teams. And you're going to want to collect those jerseys because not only can you wear them around the city, but you can also put them on display in your MyCourt.
You said MyCourt? MyCourt is returning?
I can't talk too much about MyCourt, but I'm confirming MyCourt is back. We know MyCourt's been a feature that people have been wanting for a long time, and we're very happy to bring it to 2K25.
All right, MyCourt, exciting stuff. I can't wait to start building my dynasty in NBA 2K25's My Career mode. Mark, thanks so much for joining us and sharing all this great insight.
Yeah, thanks to you, Chris.
And for all of you, stay tuned for more courtside reports on NBA 2K25.
Things happen.
Wait, hold on now.
Welcome back to our next
on.
NBA 2K25 court.
I'll pause. I'll pause. Let me see. Videos. So that was the latest video. Guess that's all they got.
We got just a little bit of real 2K25 gameplay to look at, plus a lot of big news in my opinion. So you see the My Player's name is still MP. He's getting bumped up on these crosses right here, which could be a good sign for defense in 2K25, but we'll see. Now this next one I thought was much more important. It's where MP goes down and gets a contact dunk, and then you're able to go into like Team USA from high school. But I want to look at this one clip right here where he goes for the posterizer, and you see that meter actually does go backwards. Like Mike Wang said, it starts from the top and then you want to let go right as it goes away, which he said is to help with latency and stuff like that on the game. So basically, from what they're saying is latency shouldn't be that big of an issue with shooting this year. But of course, you know, that doesn't really help with dribbling and stuff like that as well. So we'll see. Okay, we will see. But I thought this was some really cool information. All right, so Zach Timmerman, like the OG Mike Wang, was asked, is there new build archetype names? And he said yes. There are well over 100 new possible archetype names that can be discovered. Some of my favorites are Rim Attacker, Small Ball 4, Swiss Army Knife, and Junkyard Guard. That is pretty cool in my opinion. And look, yesterday was just so much information, and I want to apologize to you guys because I don't always get the perfect, you know, comprehension of everything going on. I looked at it again, and yes, the gym rat, the stamina does transfer over to all the builds after you do it once, so not that big of a deal to me. I know I made it a big deal yesterday, but I had to go back and read it, and I'm reading the comments.
That's good.
Yeah, I think that most of the news yesterday we got was pretty good. Now, Zach Timmerman also said something not mentioned. If you apply cap breakers and your archetype name wants to change, you're given the option of doing so. You can keep your current or grab the new. The cool part about the new ones is they may end up being names that just aren't possible in
Blitz helps you win up to 20% more games. Keep track of your accuracy, headshot
the builder. that is pretty crazy information right there for those of you like me that care about builds, man. We are able to possibly get, after the cap breakers, names that you can't get when first creating a build. That is actually wild, and I think that's going to be pretty cool, but we'll see how it plays out, of course, when the game releases. So this one right here says, what advantages do shorter builds have this year? Shorter builds are a constant subject of discussion for us. It's clear that a shorter build, while likely faster, quicker, and with better handles, has a hard time getting off a viable shot against lengthy defenders. This made it very difficult, ultimately, to succeed as a small scorer. We are giving more wiggle room to smalls in the builder. In addition, we're introducing a new badge called Mini Marksman, which allows a smaller shooter, 6'3" or shorter, to shoot more effectively against taller defenders. Now, hey, look, I don't want to be that guy, okay? I don't want to have to be that guy, but Mismatch Expert is literally that badge. We used to have Mismatch Expert. If you guys were there, you know what I'm talking about. It is the exact same description of that badge. But anyway, what are the attribute ratings needed to unlock legend badges? All legend badges have at least one attribute requirement that is in the 90s. Most are 97, 98, 99, very high. The lowest is strong handle, which requires a 93 strength as well as 80 ball handle. So although that one's pretty low for a legend badge, you still have to have 80 ball handle as well. Now, Wolf, former 2K League player turned into developer for 2K, he said, cap breakers are one of my favorite new features for builds in 2K25. Cap breakers have a few rules. You cannot raise attributes past your build's physical limitations. Example, if your build caps at 87 3-ball due to wingspan, you cannot apply any cap breakers to your 3-ball. You can only apply a max of 5 cap breakers onto a single attribute. So this, throughout the year, and especially, you know, in the beginning of the year as well, but throughout the year as we unlock more of these cap breakers, is going to be really interesting on how the newer builds
So basically a cap breaker is like, say if your player can get a 95 3-ball, but you put it at a 90 so you can put your shit somewhere else. I'm guessing you can use that cap breaker and get that 95. Only, you know what I'm saying? I think that's only, like, that's what he mean by, like, but if you cap out, like, you make a player and he can only go up to like he said, an 87 3-pointer, and you put it at an 87 3-pointer, you can't use a cap breaker.
Are made, but also in the very beginning as well, because it's like, let's say this year, what is Gold Posterizer? 93 driving dunk. You're gonna make a build, for example, with like 91 driving dunk, but of course you remember it has to be able to get 93. Okay, so you would make it 91 and then just add the cap breakers on to get 93, and that way you're not spending as much attributes from what I'm seeing in that category, because, you know, 92 and 93 driving dunk is probably more expensive than, you know, 50 driving dunk to 70 in the builder. So anyway, that's what we know for now. This is Mike Wang, where he was talking about our ankle breaker animations working without takeover. He said you'll have a small chance to drop defenders with high levels of ankle assassin in 2K25. Frequency cranks up considerably with takeover. And that made me pretty happy because, man, 2K for a long time, I know there's just so much controversy around the dribbling in the game, right? But I miss seeing people fall to the ground. It doesn't have to be as insane as 2K19 or 2K18, whatever it is, that obviously Mike Wang doesn't want the game. It's very obvious he doesn't want it to be like that because it's been years without it. But I would like to see an increase, because like this year, to break ankles the most efficiently, the takeover you choose is sharpshooting takeover. Like that doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. One of the playmaking takeovers, hopefully, is about breaking ankles with ankle assassin, you know, stuff like that. All that combined, putting a lot of attributes into ball handle to get ankle assassin, stuff like that, should pay off for you. You know what I'm saying? It should give you an advantage. So we'll see, right? Anyway, Double H, who
I am on a higher plane, Charlie. Literally. Win this.
Who was one of the like 2 or 3 people yesterday. If you guys didn't pay attention, if you weren't in the stream, one of the 2 or 3 people yesterday that from 2K got early access to give us footage and information on the builder. Him, and Joe Knows, and I think maybe Uncle Demi, but him and Joe Knows literally uploaded at the same exact time at 11 o'clock before we had even seen that information from 2K. So although it wasn't really talked about much by them, it was obvious it was early access information, right? So what I'm trying to get to is he knows what he's talking about when he says stuff like this, okay? He said 99 ball handle will unlock your legend unpluckable. 99 ball handle.
That's a lot.
Now, a lot of people have said this year that Hall of Fame Unpluckable versus Gold is like no difference at all. So if I go up, if steals are good in 2K25 and I go up to make a build because I just don't want to get ripped, like I'm getting on this build specifically because I don't want to lose the ball as much, to Legend Unpluckable and I'm still getting ripped, man, that would be pretty rough. Okay, so there needs to be a difference obviously between Gold and Hall of Fame and Legend for everybody. Now, agility has no effect on ball handling, Mike Wang says. The only attributes that affect dribbling are ball handle and speed with ball. So we might see a lot of these quote-unquote comp builds not have agility because they're not really there to play defense and things like that. So we'll see how that goes, but this is pretty important. Statistics said, what is the exact ball control attribute to get legendary ankle assassin? This guy said, I'm thinking 98. And then Zach Timmerman, who is like the OG Mike Wang, I told you guys, he said nailed it. So he works for 2K, by the way, if I didn't say that earlier or if you didn't know. So 98 is what is needed. And I'm just glad as well, by the way, I want to say this real quick, that maybe it wasn't me 2K listened to, but I said many times, it doesn't make sense how there's many attributes in the game where, like this year on 2K24, 99 ball handle gives you nothing. No, I'm not even kidding. Go look on the builder, go look through animations, whatever it is, nothing. That doesn't make any sense, right? There needs to be something for 99, and now there actually is something for 99, so that is good. Hopefully there's like some animations that go with it too. Like that would be really cool if 2K had, let's say, kind of like how the badges are, had elite or Hall of Fame animations and legendary animations, and those legendary like jump shots or legendary, driving dunks are only unlockable.
Damn, I don't
like
know what
let's
I'm gonna
say,
make now.
some Vince Carter dunks are only unlockable at a 99 driving dunk, and they're clearly good. Like they're very good. So that would be interesting to see. Like imagine getting Allen Iverson's dribble moves at 99 ball handle and those like break ankle very obviously more than other dribble animations. Anyway, Wolf said right here, legend badges are powerful and will be expensive in the builder. Now, of course, we probably could have already guessed that, but he's just clarifying that for us. And then he said right here, some more insight on the 2K25 builder. This is the guy that makes the builder, by the way. If you decide to go for legend badges in a category, your build will suffer in other areas. If you want to be specialized and elite at one or two things, you will be lackluster in other areas. Alternatively, you can be a good, well-rounded build with a few Hall of Fames, a lot of gold and silver badges in all categories. A balanced do-it-all build. Ultimately, it's your decision on how you want to play 2K25. Excited for you all to get in there and start labbing. So that is some pretty good information to take in right there. That's also what I said in the stream yesterday, and it was my guess from looking at the builder last year that all-around builds are going to be great. Of course, I think that they're going to be, for most people, better than specialized builds. But of course, on 2K24, specialized builds are amazing. My 99 three-point Curry build is insane, like especially with the Patrick Mills jump shot, all that stuff. So it's really just what you can do with a build. And also there's some builds like, the no defense guard builds and stuff where you need a team to be around you to help you, to, like hide you in the corner and help you with the cuts. But in turn of you getting scored on a bit more, you're also putting up a lot more points and helping the offense a lot more. So there's a lot of things that you got to take into factor. But anyway, are any shooting badges aside from mini marksman height capped? Zach Timmerman said shifty shooter maxes at 6'11". So shifty shooter is going to max out at 6'11". There's going to be a lot of badges that they don't want you to be able to get on those super tall builds. You know what I'm saying? So shifty shooter, by the way, let me just go ahead and get this for you guys, the description of what exactly shifty shooter is. That way we're not, confused here.
That's
It's
being able
improves
to
a
shoot
player's
off the
ability
dribble.
to successfully make off the dribble high difficulty jump shots. Off the dribble high difficulty jump shots.
That's what you
So
call
it doesn't
uh,
say mid ranges, it doesn't say 3-pointers. It's going to be for both areas from what I'm reading. You know what I'm saying? So we might see the return of, it's kind of seems like Agent 3s to me in a way.
Agent 3, yeah.
They're obviously putting a lot more badges into one, which I said was good. I think that's good in my opinion. Solo said this year when you wear a +1 sleeve or have +3 to an attribute, it does affect badges and animations. Game changing. Now, I don't know where he's seen that. We do know that, you know, the cap breakers help. I don't know where he's seen that the sleeves and all that help as well. So either way, I don't think he's lying, because I'm pretty sure he's one of those guys who's like in with 2K now. I do like that. You know, that's something we talked about, and I can't complain because that
I'm
is
watching
literally
this,
something
though.
I've been begging 2K to do for a few years now, and especially with 2K24 with how the legend grind was and stuff. So, you know, at the moment, real quick, it's so weird how yesterday, you know, I was wrong about like the stamina thing when I was
I'm
complaining
listening,
about
man.
that.
Listen.
But the 2K community so quickly went from, because I had just a few complaints yesterday about what was going on. It's like, you know, we're complaining about what's going on. We want all these changes. Then yesterday we get some good news, some promising potential news, and then you are not allowed to complain about anything about the game. And it's so weird because even after I'm complaining and you guys know what I do, I still see people
I'm
like,
getting on to do it right
he was
after
paid
this.
by 2K to make this news. Like, bro, I don't know. It's just new people at this point. But you guys see what I'm saying, bro. Like, I'm just literally going to give you my exact opinion on everything we see. We could have a video like this one where I think that we've got a lot of good news. So it might sound like I'm hyping up the game, but I'm just interested in it and I think it's good news. And then we could have one where I'm just completely hating on it because I don't like any of it. I don't think it's going to be good. See what I'm saying? Anyway.
Alright, so yeah. It look like 2K gonna be, I don't know. I think I'm gonna fuck with this 2K. I think I'm gonna like this 2K. I ain't even gonna lie. 24 wasn't bad for me. It wasn't bad. But, you know what I'm saying? With the courts being bigger, you ain't got all of these crazy fucking animations that you gonna be put in, apparently. So they say. Then for you to get a legend badge, they're saying you're gonna have to lose a lot. So we gonna see, man. And I hope that L2 Council is gone, cause boys are spamming the hell out that hoe. Not gonna lie. Fuck. Shit, fuck it. Hey, looking forward to 2K. I'm gonna get it in, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna lock in. I'm gonna actually be on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna actually be on 2K. I'm gonna actually try to get somewhere. Shit, right now I was just playing for fun, but fuck it.